Hello everyone, you are watching the UK's only TV programme dedicated to mental health and wellbeing topics, The Chrissy B Show. If you've been watching this show for a while, you know that we love to share inspirational stories from real people. People who've been through really tough times, but who found the strength to turn things around. And the reason we do this is to inspire and motivate you at home, to show you that there is always light at the end of the tunnel and that you can change your life too. Today we're going to speak to two amazing gentlemen who faced their demons and won. They are Gershom Allen, who once lost everything he owned to a volcano and went through many other things which he'll tell us all about. And to Kenny Mammarella-D'Cruz, who also faced all sorts of traumatic things such as death threats, refugee camps, paternal abandonment and racism. They'll be telling us all about what they went through and how they turned things around to the point where they're even now helping other people. Also joining us on the show will be one of our resident psychologists, Dr. Audrey Tang, to comment on our stories and also telling us what it is that makes some people turn around and fight their problems rather than letting those issues destroy them. And courtesy of the Mental Health Channel, we also have a story all the way from America of Cindy Trevino, who attempted suicide 12 times due to trauma she faced in her childhood, including being raped by her own father. She thought she could never trust anyone again, including her devoted husband, but she finally chose to live, and we see her doing a trust challenge with her family. Let's watch the first part of her story.
That first touch and cut is taking that anger and saying, I feel something else. I still can feel something besides this. I was 13 years old the first time my father came into my room and raped me. And he said, from now on, you will be my wife. And you will do everything I tell you. Or I will beat your brother until he bleeds.
When I fell in love with Cindy, I always saw that she had a good heart and she's very considerate of others. As long as we've been married, it's been hard for her to realize that I'm there for her and she can trust me in any situation. And deep down inside, I know she does, but through all this other stuff kind of on the outside, she still has the defense mechanisms against me.
I chose this place because I am looking for a deeper meaning and to find the ability to count on and open up to others. And my family is here with me, and that in itself shows support. But I am here today to open up the trust between Ross and myself.
One of the things that we want to do today is we're going to work on teamwork, communication, and trust. My philosophy for myself is, life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. If you live in that box, you're not living. This challenge is our trust fall, of which we get the participants to come up top, stand on the platform. The platform is 5 foot. Their head is generally about 11 foot off the ground, which they'll turn around backwards, lock their arms, and fall into the arms of their teammate or family below. This is the climactic event in the area of trust.
I've never done a challenge course, but I'm not gonna just do the minimal. I'm going to challenge myself.
Yeah, just come around it. Cindy, grab onto my shoulder so that it's easier. My shoulder, that's not my shoulder. Put it on my shoulder, you still don't have it on my shoulder.
Okay, yeah.
Here's the deal, we need to straighten this out, look. Karen, lift your leg up and let me at least pull the wrinkles. Yep. Exactly. Leave your foot there, and then just get there. Patsy, get your left with a, yeah.
Okay, Cindy, move back.
Good job, everybody.
7 minutes and 34 seconds.
This is where I want to say you don't communicate to me, is that you have an idea and this is it, but you don't say how you get there. Male figures are something that I'm struggling with learning to trust. On the outside, I trust him implicitly, but because of trauma that I experienced in my past, There are some severe trust issues.
This is our spider web. You're going to have to get from one side of the spider web to the other without waking the spider.
So just the ringing of the bell.
The ringing of the bell
This is Charlotte's web.
can wake the spider.
Cindy, you pick your hole first.
Yeah, where do you want to go?
You go through whichever hole you
Be very careful. We can hold you.
Y'all ready to start? I haven't
You
said
don't have
start.
to go through
The
feet
process.
first. You can go head first if you wanted to.
I know. Hey, push your arm back.
Watch your butt.
And he'll say, be careful,
butt.
because once you start touching the bungees, you're going to wake the spider.
Just slowly.
All right. We would have never allowed them.
Hold on.
Oh no, we woke the spider. Henry's awake. Okay, well, what actually transpired is that he spit some venom out, and unfortunately, sir, he hit you, and so you have temporary blindness. So you have to put your blindfold on.
Oh, I like that.
We had a plan going, and then nobody stayed with the plan.
We only had 3 minutes to decide.
But they never said, okay, stop and let's go. Well, I mean, with some of the things, it was hard. Like they tell me that sometimes I need to take more time to explain it to her better. But like you see within the spider web, as we're all talking, she just said she decided where she was going and she went. And she didn't wait for the rest of the team. And I suffered the consequences because I was blinded. So, I mean, she started to see stuff like that. And I'm seeing some of my mistakes too, so it's working out well.
Ross told me that he couldn't leave because he made a commitment to me and to himself and to his children. I know he loves me, but to actually feel it is another thing.
So we'll be watching the second part of Cindy's story later on, but first it's time for the news with Helena Shard. Welcome to the show, Helena.
Thanks, Chrissy. Thank you.
Against all odds today for the news.
Against all odds, I know. And starting with Phil Collins, because you know that's one of his songs, Against All Odds. So I thought it was quite apt. So ex-wife Orianne has said that they're going to remarry despite a 25 million divorce some time ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are quite loaded. But so they were married in '99, separated 2006, divorce came through 2008. And they got together last year.
Oh.
So interestingly, Phil Collins actually had a drink problem, but he's okay now.
Yeah.
And he said, ironically, that they've been together since last year, but no one actually noticed. So it's weird because obviously celebrity, they pounce on you. I mean, interestingly, a while ago in another show, we talked about Sir Paul Coleridge, a former court judge, who said that many people 5 years after getting divorced actually really regret it.
Yeah.
I think 22%. So.
Well, I think if probably if the
mind.
alcohol was the main issue that they divorced in the first place, and that's not an issue anymore.
I think it is. And the good thing is, Ariane was saying it's so great because now they're going to get remarried, their 2 children will be with them, it'll be more of an intimate affair.
Oh,
so, yeah,
like
good,
happy stories.
Good for them, absolutely. A lovely one as well, Paul Connolly. This is a really inspiring one, I feel anyway. Against all odds, he rose to success. And he had, well, at 2 weeks old, he was found in a rubbish bin. His mum had chucked him away.
Oh.
He was brought up in a convent until the age of 8. He then moved to St Leonard's Children's Home in Tower Hamlets, which was a really life-changing move for him, not for the better at all. Because unfortunately, from principal down, it was run by a paedophile ring.
Oh, goodness.
So you can imagine.
Yeah.
So his childhood was violence and mental torture. It was just awful, and just so sad. In that, even in their 20s, everyone from his dorm, apart from him and one other, had committed suicide.
Oh,
so sad, isn't it?
It's awful.
Anyway, so he, ploughed on. He joined a boxing club, funnily enough, at 9. Where he did meet a very good group of guys who were male influence, so really good mentors. And he got was great at boxing. He thought that was going to be his career, but due to an illness, he couldn't do that. But he mixed it up with something else, because he was the first person to bring box aerobics to London. And he's now an incredibly successful celebrity fitness instructor. And he's worked with Elle Macpherson and Christopher Reeve. And one thing that's so lovely, he's also a best-selling author, because I think one of his books is called, or his book is Against All Odds.
Oh, is it? Wow.
And he learned to read and write when he was 25. So, I mean, you know, it's amazing to then write a book. Yeah,
see, it's never too late.
Never too late, which is lovely. Another one, Natasha Richardson, unfortunately, she was killed some time ago in a skiing accident, which was really, really sad, married to Liam Neeson. And it's taken the whole family such a long time to get over it. But Michael Neeson is now 20 and he opened up about the dark place he's been to. And he had to go to rehab. She died when he was 13. And he thought that he'd got over it within a week, but he'd spent from 13 till about age of 19, sort of completely off it, you know, partying, drugs and everything.
That's the way he
rock bottom, but he's got help now, so good for him. Moving on to Gwen Stefani, she hit rock bottom recently with her divorce with Gavin Rossdale. But she started talking to the Times and she thought she was going to die. How was she going to move on? And she's quite embarrassed about what she said now because she has moved on. She's met a great guy, and she's just in love. And you can see, you know, social media, it's her, you know, kissing and goodness knows what. But she's completely okay now, which is lovely. Gemma Oten, who's well known for being in Emmerdale, she's a successful actress, but she beat anorexia and she's found love, so it's all quite recent. But at 11 she found herself in the psychiatric ward, which was terrifying for her. 11? Wow. Yeah, and she didn't get the help she needed. She was there for 11 months, but they kept trying to almost force feed her and didn't find, you know, weren't getting to the bottom of why she was anorexic. Her parents helped out. They started a charity. It's something, 13 years it took her to battle through it, but you know, she's got through it and now she's a great ambassador and is really, really happy. So her mum, Marge, has got an MBE for her charity and all her work. I think the charity is called Seed, so good for her. Keanu Reeves as well. I didn't know Keanu Reeves is very gorgeous, isn't he? He's a very good looking guy. But he's had a sort of tragic time as well, but has got through it. His family split up when he was 3, so he was abandoned by his father at 3. They moved around, he didn't have a proper education, dyslexic, didn't get any exams. Met the love of his life, Jennifer Sim, in '98. She gave birth to a stillborn child, 8 months, so they split up, unfortunately. Best friends, but a year later she was killed in a motoring accident. So he was just distraught. But he's done incredibly well, you know, obviously with The Matrix and all the other programmes, and he's such a selfless person. In fact, he's given most of his earnings away to people. Even, I mean, he had 80 million, I think he gave away to the special effects and makeup staff out of his 114 million. But I mean, he didn't have to do that.
Wow. And
to charity and various things. And there's so many more, Jane Fonda, Charlize Theron, but just finishing on J.K. Rowling, who, a quote, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life."
This is it,
very
isn't it?
Simple, but you know, it's strong, it's powerful.
It's true. So thank you very much, Helena, and we'll see you again next week. All right, guys, so after the break, I'll be speaking to my first guest who beat all the odds, and that's Gershom Allen, and to our resident psychologist, Dr. Audrey Tang, who will also be joining us to comment on our stories today. Welcome back to today's program, everyone, and we've titled this Against All Odds. They made it because we have two very inspirational guests on with us today. Our first guest is Gershom Allen. Hello, Gershom.
Oh, hello, Chrissy.
Lovely to have you on the show.
Oh, amazing to have me. I'm grateful right now. Thank you for the opportunity.
It's brilliant to have you on. And then after the break, we're also going to be joined by another amazing gentleman, and that's going to be Kenny. And we also have Dr. Audrey Tang with us, who's going to be giving us your thoughts about, you know, the stories that you hear today and some other things that we'll be asking you about.
Yes.
So let's start with Gershom's story. So you're originally from Montserrat?
Montserrat, beautiful place in the Caribbean next to Antigua. It's a paradise. Yeah. It's a place where you can go holidays. You see all these holiday destinations. Amazing place. Nice black sand beaches, not white sand like most places. Lots of mountains and stuff.
Yeah. Sounds like my ideal place to
be. Beautiful. It's amazing.
So was life growing up there nice, really good for you?
Oh, what was life like? I think for me, it was a simple life. It was where you wake up and the next thing is simple breakfast, like a cup of tea, like from herbs of the field, and then you got like just simple, like banana or whatever it was provided, because we were on the land, you know, we survived on the land. And my father was a farmer, and you know, he cultivated the land, and I looked after animals, you know, a very young.
Sounds lovely, doesn't it? It does. I'm just like,
ideal.
Very, very, very young age. So, you know, it was very simple life, very happy life, you know, playing out in the fields with the animals, you know, we had dogs.
So you got good memories of
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
But then what happened, Gershom? Because something major happened in all your lives that you kind of lost everything.
What happened? Life happened, I guess. It was volcano. Came in '95, and it just changed everything. I think we heard the sounds like a rumbling, or you heard the underground
so scary.
really shaking, and earthquakes were passing at the time, and people were scared. And then there was a black cloud. It was dark, hovering over, because we're an island, so we have lots of mountains, so the clouds cover, so we weren't even sure what was going on, and we just saw this black thing keep going, bubbling up, and then to be told on the radio that there was we have an active volcano
on its way.
It's happening. Not on its way. It's happening. Yes. So it was on the island. So obviously my family, we were terrified. Everyone was terrified. Everyone wondering, you know, what is the volcano? Some people were excited. You know, we had people coming in just to see the volcano. So, but where I lived, I wake up in the morning, I say hello. You know, it was just distance away from where I was. So it was heartbreaking for me at that stage when that happened, because we lost everything. We had to evacuate from where we were. And my mom and dad, I remember my mom specifically said, go in the garden, grab us everything you had, like pull everything, because we were farmers. We grabbed everything and put it into the bags, and like whatever you can to put in, you know. And I only had like just a suitcase, not even a suitcase, just with whatever we had, because we have evacuated several times, backward and forward, and then this was the final time that we thought. We didn't know that it was going to be the final time that we're going to leave, you know. So I think, you know, it was just crazy, because we left, we rushed, and that was
the last you saw.
That was the last of my beautiful house. Driveway with garden, you know, beautiful place.
So what did you guys do after?
Paradise. We stayed in a shelter, like, you know, on cots, you know, the army barracks cots kind of stuff, fold out. And when we went there, it was like, we came in late because we stayed late to grab as much as we could. And when we got there, I remember I felt isolated. I felt, what just happened? It was just like, everything happened so quickly. And not knowing that we're not going to ever go back. So we stayed there in the shelter for a few months, and then a few months stayed into about 7 months and a year, and a year and a half in and out of school. School was shutting down.
Gershom, I think we needed a whole show just for your story, but we need to fast forward now.
That's cool.
So when did you, and why did you come to the UK? Was that because of what happened there?
Yeah, that's right. So my dad, being the good father that he is, said, you know, son, I need you. We needed us as a family, because I'm from a family of 8, and that we needed education was important, and because my school, you know, we went to Christian education, that was, my dad was, he believed in that, and I'm thanking him for that. You know, I was really, really grateful. He said, we have to make a decision to come to England, because the opportunity came up that we can come to England, and we are a British colony. So Her Majesty said, you guys can come. You know, and
that was nice.
my dad just said, yes, you send us ahead, and we came here. It was just crazy, because everything I said was just going too fast. And for me, from a big family, it's like, you know, you got to run with the pace. You got to keep up. And when I came to London, cold, it was just different. It was just different. It was a case where, what next? What do I do?
Was that depressing when you saw
straight? I think it brings that. But I had my family, and we were together. My dad didn't come first, so I was here, being one of the oldest siblings. You know, my brothers and sisters got into school before me, and I think that's where the depression came in. Couldn't get into school. Thought I would have got in straight away, but my sisters, my younger siblings, under me, which is like, you know, Tanisha, Rosie, you know, they all got in Glenbrook, they all got, and I didn't get.
Let's bring Audrey in at this point, because obviously Gershom went through a lot of stuff in his past, and like, but even still, there was something inside of you that kept you going. And that's what I want to focus on, Audrey, because so many things that he went through, but still there was something inside that was telling him to go on, whereas other people, like we heard in the news, like people that went through some stuff in the home, killed themselves.
One thing I'm hearing a lot, and you get very passionate about, is when you talk about your family and your father and your values, and they were so strongly instilled that can make a huge difference.
Keep pushing.
Even when everything else is crumbling around you, if that nucleus is still strong, you're still together, you're still pushing through, you know you've got people you care about around you. It's when you came here, of course it was very difficult, because at 13 it's a time of transition anyway, or 15, sorry.
That's fine.
It's a time of transition anyway, the early teenage years. You're seeking for an identity. It's the time where often a lot of good friendships actually founded and last throughout the lifetime, but because you're changing schools, because you've left so much behind, you don't know who you are, it's very difficult to build those foundations on something firm. But it sounds like the values that were instilled in you, the family life, and the fact that you did have people, good people around you, just in that immediate circle, that can make a massive difference.
Oh yes, I think she's right on the head, because most of all, I mean, every day I'm grateful for my parents. Every day, 39 years married. Say congratulations to them this year, you know. That's an amazing story. I'm 34, so you do the maths. I was born in a beautiful thing. And I go by Dr. G, the Love Motivator, on Facebook, YouTube, all the rest of it. And the reason is that I found out love is what saved me. And because of my parents' love, they said, son, my mom always says to me, son, you are special, you are unique. There is something about you, you just gotta keep going. And through those years, I found solace, I found peace, I found, even though I was broken, I couldn't move on. So like that year that I went to college, Enfield College, North London, dropped out. Didn't know, because I failed my GCSEs, I was only allowed to take 4. You know, because I wasn't ready. They said, fail them, you know, but you know what? It was January to May, you wouldn't be able to get ready, you know, for exams. So it was a case where I came through, went to college, said, no, I didn't know what. I went to jail. I literally didn't want to come out my house. I used to go to the basketball court to play basketball, and that's where I'd come back home. And it became so much. I was, you know, you sign on and go to the job center. I was coming into 18 now. And that's what happened, is just, I didn't want to come out. And then you get your national insurance somewhere at 18, you know what I'm saying? So what's next? Mom says, son, you gotta find a job. You gotta find a job. And it's like, what can I do? What can I do? Seriously, what can I do? No O-levels, well, we call them O-levels back home. No,
yeah, I did that.
You know.
Did you see remember?
You know what I'm saying. So it's a difficult time in my life. 18, everybody's partying, enjoying. So obviously, what next? And I just got into cars, doing what I do, met with my friends, and my life was there just in the shift. And I had to dig deep. So I remember I went to the job, right, and job center. And when I went there, they said to me that they were a lot more helpful then than now. I got to put that in. It's crazy.
Gosh, just so you know, we've got 2. Can you cover it in 2 minutes?
Okay, that's
before
great.
the break.
That's great.
Try your best. I know you've got loads to your story, and I really want to hear everything. But like,
I'm going to tell you this. So when I went there, I came back, and I got the job, food job center. That's packing boxes, stacking shelves, sweeping the floor. I stayed there for...
What did you think of that job?
It was a job, to me, it was valuable. I had something to do.
You appreciated
I was useful.
Yeah.
But I worked my way up from sweeping the floor, packing boxes, to acting manager of the warehouse in 9 years.
Yeah.
And then to be stared across the desk from somebody after someone came in after me and said to me, because another shift of my life happened again, said to me that you didn't get a job of the general manager after firing me and hiring me back. Then great stuff, knocking on my door, asking me to come back. And then they told me, you didn't get it this time, but we need you to train somebody else. And then I left London because I was going through a broken relationship right there. At that time, I lost everything. I lost my fiance at the time. I lost my car license, which I worked hard for. I lost everything was
again, so it was like everything, the same thing happening with different circumstances.
Right, so that was 2000, gotta get this right, 2009, 2007, going to 2009. And 2009, I packed it up, made my mom cry for the first time. That broke my heart, because I just wanted to leave London. Yeah. So I just wanted to get away, I was in Florida. Okay. Went to Gainesville, no, it's not Gainesville, Jacksonville, Florida. I'm mixing it up, I think so, yeah. And anyway, I was in Florida, and I stayed there, and my mom was like, son, because I couldn't get through with stay, sit the ship, all kind of stuff. So I came back here. My mom persuaded me to come back, say, it's better you come here. And I came back, and I slept on the couch, because my brother had my room, and I was basically homeless, because the situation just changed. So right there and then, sometimes I would go to the park and just spend time alone. And I had to dig deep. That Christmas, 2010, my sister, shout out to her, I love her so much. She loved me, and she said this from digging deep. You gotta stop talking about stuff and start doing stuff.
I'll hold it right there.
And that's when my life changed.
We need to go to break, guys, and we're also going to be bringing on Kenny, another amazing guest that we have today, to talk about his story. Different, still a traumatic past, but a different set of circumstances and everything. And obviously, Audrey, we're going to be talking more because in your case, you had the family support. In Kenny's, there's a lot of other stuff going on, and we're going to talk about those people that maybe don't have that family support. How do they survive? And also, we're going to be hearing what you're doing now in motivating other people, Gershom. So join us after this. Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show, and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to today's show, everyone, which has been titled Against All Odds, They Made It. So now we're joined by Kenny Mammarella-D'Cruz, who's also going to be telling us our story. We'll still have Gershom on, and also Dr. Audrey Tang. Now, Gershom, we didn't quite finish your story because you're going to tell us sort of the turning point in your life and why, how you came to write your book and all the other stuff that you've done. But let's hear Kenny's story first, because you have also got like a powerful story. We were just talking during the break, guys. It's just so deep that, we just need more time on this show, but we don't have it. So let me stop talking, and you can start talking, Kenny.
Where to start?
How was life growing up for you?
Life was sweet. Life was sunny. Life was full of love. Life was safe. We were just saying earlier, the fruit and vegetables tasted gorgeous. Even better than Waitrose. So I was very, very lucky to come from absolute joy and happiness.
Oh, yes.
Africa, Uganda in the, I guess it was late 60s, early 70s, I think was a bubble of bliss. It was a time and a place.
So then what happened? Because that happiness, that lovely, scene that you've just created in our minds changed.
Well, I think in a nutshell, Idi Amin happened. So we lived in a part of town that was quite near him. So there was a lot of rumbling when tanks drove by. There was a lot of gunfire, and there were things brewing. And I guess my parents were born in Uganda and Kenya, so we thought it would pass. We wanted things to just, blow over. Someone would fix it, and for things to be okay. It didn't. So originally my family's from Goa. So my grandparents went back to Goa to find that it doesn't really exist. It was taken over by India, and it's a different place, and their property was stolen. So that's not a home. What are we going to do? And then before we know it, we are on the death list. We had a phone call saying, we're going to come and kill you tonight. So this is where...
And how old were you at the time?
So then I was 7.
When you got this, when you heard this news. How did that feel for you? Do you remember what you went through?
I remember so well. So my aunt and uncle were there, my mother and father. I don't remember my brother. Maybe he was in bed. He was 3 years younger than me. And I remember I cried. I wasn't a crier. I was a happy, able child, but there was fear. There was absolute... My father first laughed it off. We had huge Alsatians, and they were like guard dogs. So my father said something about, we've got 3 lions, and, you know, he thought it's some cheap, nasty joke, what's going on?
Yeah.
They had the decency to phone back. To say, we're not kidding, we're going to come and kill you tonight. Like, thank God they phoned back. But we felt it. Just like, even after the first phone call, it was, I kind of almost, this might be my imagination, but it's like the temperature drops, it was still, and I remember, and I cried. And my father and uncle went out with the people that we employed to take care of us, and for some reason looked in the front, looked in the back. I don't know what they do if people shut up with guns, but within half an hour we were out. And
so it's very much similar in like grabbing. Did you grab anything as well? Like
no,
just went.
We went. I saw my home once more after that, but we ran and we were in hiding. No more school, no more friends, no more church, no more anything much really. My parents would still go to work, and there are times when we didn't think that we'd see them that day.
Really?
It was hairy. We were followed, and I remember we had toy walkie-talkies, and my aunt and uncle would be 2 or 3 cars behind us, and we would be discussing where to turn, where might be safe. There was a truck in front with blood trailing. There were soldiers with guns everywhere. It was...
And then there's us just sort of thinking what we're going to have for breakfast, and you guys are like, my goodness.
Yeah,
awful.
And it's really weird because actually, there and then, it was just what was going on. We weren't sitting around thinking, oh my God, this is terrible, how are we going to cope? It was coping, it was surviving, and I guess I became a survivor. Yeah. I became very able to cope, and I took care of myself. I was a nice Catholic boy who made no trouble, and we took care of things as best as we could, and luckily we got out with our lives. We got out with our lives, but without my father. He was left, because it was his name on the death list. He was the one that they wanted. It wouldn't be safe if he was with us. He'd be killed, we'd possibly all be killed. And it was close a few times. So...
Kenny, just a question if I wanted to ask Audrey, because obviously Kenny said you learned to be a survivor.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Because, like I said, because some people, they just don't have that in them, or they don't think they do, but with others it just seems to come out.
Yeah, it's very difficult. For some people, they can learn to be helpless. When so many bad things happen to you, you just sit down and take it. Again, with your experiences, there was a firm foundation, and there is a school of thought in psychology about attachment theory and the importance of having a secure attachment right at the very beginning of your life, and then realizing that because we're changeable people and we can adapt, to be able to have a secondary secure attachment, it reminds us that it is possible. So having that right at the very beginning does actually make a difference. For somebody who hasn't experienced that, then it becomes quite important for them to find someone. And that's one of the key things. But one thing that comes out of both of your experiences is this acknowledgement of what you've been through, an acceptance of it, but a knowledge that that doesn't need to be the end of the story. And this is a very lesser known philosopher called Kierkegaard, who was one of the earliest founders of psychology. He talked about the authentic self. And if we can accept the authentic self, we can build from that place. But not many people can find it because we're always thinking, oh, I dream I'm going to become an astronaut or a footballer or something like that. And if that's not in our authentic self to be, we end up chasing these dreams. And so with both of your experiences, you found an authenticity, you found an acceptance somewhere, and it's that allows you to build and grow and come from that. Plus, you have been very lucky to have that very secure foundation, even for a tiny amount of time.
Do you know, in a very strange way, I'm grateful for all of that, because if it wasn't for all of that, I wouldn't be who I am now, living the life I'm living. And the way that I've had to accept these things, once I stopped surviving, it's like, you know, the bogeyman's not chasing me anymore. And it took me a lifetime to not just say that, but to believe it, to accept it, and to start living, to stop surviving and start living.
When was that turning point, Kenny? What was it that happened, or maybe your thought process that you said, you know what, I need to stop living in the past, it's not going on anymore, but really believe it and not just be telling yourself that?
I noticed my cycles. I'd do very well in different industries, and it would go so far, and then I would feel that if I do any better, then it's very possible that yet again I'd lose it all, and I don't know if I've got it in me to make it again. So I'd best leave while I'm good, and I'll do something else, and I'll do something else. So it's like you would walk
away from the
Exactly.
situation.
And that was my cycle. That was my cycle with work, that was my cycle with homes, that was my cycle with relationships. And it was in noticing these cycles, I just realised that something was up. So I needed to unlearn what's not, I needed to update what's going on now and unlearn what's not true anymore. And as I unlearned what's not true, life revealed my tools. And it's these tools that I now use in my work, running men's groups with private clients and everything I do, to pass it on. But if it wasn't for these experiences, none of this, exactly. And my God, I love my life. I've got a great life. I'm very, very lucky. And those things, well, I can't even say they hurt. To be honest, I'd say I was quite numb or surviving or automatic. It was my normality. So what's there to dramatise? That was just normally, that was what was going on. It's only, I guess, now that I'm older and people like you ask about the story, it's like, well, hey, this is glamorous all of a sudden.
But it's brilliant that you were able to change your life around like that and your way of thinking.
And the way I say it, it makes it sound easy, but
no, self-awareness is actually very difficult to gain because when you become a survivor, actually you build up a lot of defences around you and it can be very difficult to stop and take stock. And sometimes this is where people think there's nothing else I can do, and that's when they can disappear down very dark paths. So it's very important to actually remain aware of yourself and aware of when something doesn't feel right or when something is going okay, but what are you then doing to change that? Both of you have got a very strong sense of awareness. That comes through, well, another school of thought is Gestalt therapy, and it's about phenomenological awareness. It's knowing how you're feeling and understanding where that feeling is coming from, because that can be a trigger for you to say, right, I'm feeling butterflies in my stomach, that means something's not right, or I'm feeling a tightness in my chest, something's not right. And if you can recognise that, then you can actually do something about it. But whilst you're in that very defensive survivor mode, actually you don't feel much. You're just getting from one day to the next. And it is about sometimes taking yourself out of that survivor environment, that survivor position, and finding somewhere else. But that's not always easy. It's not always easy to find a place to sort of clear your mind. But it can be, it's what we say to people who are addicted to something, change the environment. And it's the same thing, if you're addicted to surviving because that's the only thing you know, sometimes you do have to change where you are. Sometimes move away from the people who you believe are friends, because they may not be the right ones for you, or at least not for your authentic self, the self that's in there that you're trying to get in touch with. Once you're in touch with that, you're then able to go further.
But though it's difficult though, like, you know, it's hard sometimes, but we've just got proof here. Just the two stories and other people that have come on the show that you can, no matter how long it takes, and you know, if you need the support and everything, you just get what you need, the help that you need, so you can turn things around. You know, so you wanted to say something good.
The amazing thing about my story, and I think what my message is to the world, is love. I mean, the basis of love, the basis of this world is built on love. I mean, we could talk about anything else, about who brought up any theory, and love connects itself to God. And that's what saved me. That's what made me. And I understand that anybody that's listening, my message is to love the life you live and live the life you love. And it took pain to make me to who I am. So that's why I came up with my slogan, which is push past the pain, greatness is next. You see, when I realized that I lost everything, when I realized it happened all over again. I needed to take control of who I am, who I want to become. I started to think about who I am, where I want to go, making decisions, making sure every decision count. And that day when my sister told me, look, you know what? Stop talking about it and do something about it. It started me saying, look, I'm going to take grips of this. This is a college dropout. This is a guy that couldn't even spell his second name, Jerome, which is why, not blaming my parents, I just never used it often. I just said to myself, look, what I'm going to do, I got to start digging deep. So when I started writing my pidgin language, to write my first book, published it in 2012, I knew that I had potential within me. I knew I had greatness within me. And now I'm inspiring the world every day. Every day I'm making... That's
what you're doing.
I'm a motivational speaker and life coach, lifestyle coach. I help others that are going through difficult times in their life. I help people to understand that, look, it's about you. And you gotta start thinking about where you're at now. If you want this show to be the greatest show ever, you gotta start digging deep. You gotta start thinking about what you're not doing. You're gonna need to start to understand that every second count. I don't waste my life no more. I woke up 7 years ago, and that's what I was saying. Every second I live, every second I grind, and that's why I go grind daily. Because at the end of the day, you gotta know what's worth it to you. You talk about values and principles, those are the things that protect me. My parents gave them to me. And they said, look, you start to hold on to them. Some of us in today's society, unfortunately, don't have no values, don't have no principles. They ain't no core. You see, I go to the gym, body transformation, 10 months, right? My stomach, they say you're getting fat because I was sitting too much at the computer. So I decided to myself, okay, guess what you're gonna do? 9 months, I've lost 2 stones, and I'm making muscle. Now,
have you done Sean T things there by any chance?
What was that?
Sean T, have you done any of his workouts? Because you keep saying deep.
I came up with my own routine. But I really want people to understand that's listening. And if you hear my story and hear what pain I've been through, whatever, when I went to sit in front of a psychologist, when I went back to college to do counseling, and I passed it, it's like the counseling teacher said, when my first class, where you been your whole life? I say, man, now it's my time. I went back to Berkeley
University. Well, this is the thing,
if
you hadn't been through that stuff, like Kenny's saying, if you hadn't been through that stuff, you wouldn't be where you are today. And this is the key, because sometimes people think, why did I go through all this? Why me? And I've had such a bad time. But the thing is, if you keep thinking about it like that, you will never grow, you will never take the positive, because there is the positives. You went through it, okay, you went through it, whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. How can I use what I went through to change my life and to do something positive with my life? And that's the key, and that's what you both did, which is amazing.
In the end, to simplify it right down to how I turn things around, is I worked out that rather than chasing the stories, whatever, it's in this moment. And when I found that I was lost in space, trying to think things through, or work them out, or blame, or shame, or the past, or the future, I'd take a deep breath in, and as I breathe in, I'd think, thank you for reminding me who I used to be. And as I breathe out, I took part in what's in front of me. And that made the space for me to exist. And in that space, I could come alive rather than survive, and I had absolute choice.
Guys, we need to go. I'm so sorry. I could listen to these two all day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming
Absolute
on, Kenny. Thank you, Gershom.
Thank you very much.
Lovely meeting you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Audrey, thank you very much as well.
And
we'll see you soon.
You guys.
Right, guys, so don't go away, because after the break, we'll be watching the second part of Cindy Trevino's story, who attempted suicide 12 times due to trauma that she faced in her childhood. Welcome back to today's program, everyone, and it's been an amazing show. We titled it Against All Odds, They Made It, because of our 2 guests that we had on today who were very inspiring. And if you've missed the beginning of this program, don't worry, you can head over to our YouTube channel in a few days' time, Chrissy B Show, and watch it there. And don't forget to subscribe while you are there, because there's lots of stuff on there great for your mental health and well-being. So now let's watch the second part of Cindy Trevino's story. Now, earlier we watched the first part of her story, where she actually spoke about attempting suicide 12 times due to trauma that she faced in her childhood, including being raped by her dad. So she actually thought that she could never ever trust anyone again, and that included her husband, who, you know, is very devoted to her. You can see how much he loves her. But then she chose to start living again, and she started this trust game with her family. Let's see what happened.
The trust fall is going to be challenged by choice, but I truly encourage everyone to participate in this. What I ask people to do normally, if you're hesitant about doing it, be one of your first to volunteer for it.
You need to do this.
Yeah, you ought to go now.
Well, come on, baby girl.
Okay, let's go ahead and form the line now.
Does anybody need a banana?
There's the mom coming. Okay, I need to see the line before she gets on the platform.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, Ross, you're in the best position. Are we good and straight there? Okay. Lock your arms. You're just gonna look straight. You're gonna be stiff as a board and light as a feather. And let me hear those commands.
Spiders ready?
Spiders ready.
Cindy preparing to fall.
Fall on, Cindy.
Cindy's falling. I can't.
Okay, that's fine. You step down, Cindy.
I know they're there. I just can't do it. I can't.
Okay. With that, let me see the line. Now you're gonna go stiff as a board, light as a feather. Okay, the line looks good. Fingertips to elbows. Miguel, put your hands out a little bit further. There we go. Perfect. Okay, sir, the line looks good. Let me hear your commands.
Okay, spotters ready?
Spotters ready.
Ross preparing to fall?
Fall on, Ross.
Ross falling.
Stiff as a board. Feet down, feet down, feet down, feet down. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a good one.
Okay, so anybody want to try again?
You?
Okay.
You want to do this now?
Yeah,
Okay.
skip to do while she still got the
Okay, let's do my line.
I've attempted suicide 12 times. I don't ever want to have to go back to that place. I choose to live.
Step back just a little bit more. You've got another couple more inches to go. You still go. There you go.
Stiff.
This foot now, right there. Okay, lock your arms. Okay, put your arms on like you did before. Lock them up. You got it. Perfect, perfect, Sonny. Okay, now you remember your commands. You're gonna say, "Are spotters ready?"
Spotters ready?
Spotters ready.
Cindy preparing to fall?
Fall on, Cindy.
Please catch me.
We will.
Cindy's falling.
Stay still.
Nope, you're good.
You don't do.
Feet down.
You don't
We
do.
still got you.
You
You gotta stay still.
just did the trust fall. Take a breath. You did it. Cindy, you just took a huge step.
I
In
have
you.
always been afraid of that, and I never thought I would be able to do that because I could never trust anybody.
Why did you do it today?
Because my family is all here supporting me. And it's time for me to trust. And I'm opening up to do that.
We love you, Cindy.
That's fantastic.
Ross told me that his goal was to keep me alive because he saw the good in me. And that someday it would all be worth it. I am Cindy Trevino. And that's the first time that I can say I am somebody. It just feels so good to have a heart that isn't so dark and heavy, and to see that there is so much life out there. I want to thank you for always being there, for loving me, and not sometimes, but you've always been there, and I love you with all my heart.
Well, I told you we'd get through this together.
Forever.
Well, I'm sure that was the start of many happier times for Cindy and her family. And a very special thanks, by the way, to the Mental Health Channel for that story. And for more information about them, visit our contributors section on chrissybshow.tv. Well, unfortunately, everybody, we have reached the end of today's program. But if you have a story that you would like to share to help motivate and inspire our viewers, or if there's something that you're going through that you need help on the show, or you'd like to see a topic dedicated to it, you can visit our website, chrissybshow.tv, and leave a message there, or you can tweet us at chrissybshow or leave a message on our Facebook page The Chrissy B Show. So I just want to leave you with one final thought. Your life will change when you decide it's going to change. Now, you may have no idea how you're going to do it, but that's not the most important thing right now. Once you decide that you won't accept things the way they are and the way that you're feeling, it will actually give you the fuel to start to search for ways to turn things around. And I remember that when my life was being, I would say, eaten away by depression, though I felt lousy, though I felt very weak, there was this tiny little voice, this tiny little thing inside of me that said, I'm meant to be happy. You're not meant to be going through these things. You're meant to have a good, happy life. And even through all the things that I was going through, I held on to that tiny little voice. I held on to that. I kept searching for help until I found the right help, and I turned my life around. And you can too. Until next time, bye-bye for now.
That was an absolute buzz. I'm so chuffed that you invited me. Thank you so much for being so kind and open to this.
That was fantastic. I mean, I got to share my story and just the warm welcome here, the atmosphere, the people. I feel the love, and as I say, love the life you live and live the life you love. You know, what can I say? It's just been amazing, and I hope that this will go to the sky. It's your boy Dr. G, the Love Motivator, man. I'm out.
Not hope it will go to the sky.
I think she got it right now. She got the fire, right? You don't see she got the fire. That's right, it will go to the sky. I want to blow up right now. I just want to, the energy's about to unleash. So you want to come with me? Then let's go there.
Let's go.
So, let's go there. You know, so it's about your mindset. I mean, as I say, I'm off camera now, but it's about...
You're not.
Am I? I'm just saying. I'm super excited about the future, man. So.
That was an absolute buzz. It's really... gone.
I liked where it was going there. And to our resident psychologist, Dr. Audrey Tang, who'll be joining us to... Shut up, can I start again? Sorry.
I'm waiting for you.
It wants to get started, can't we?
Oh man, I'm excited. I'm getting the opportunity to share my story. This is an amazing time for me.
It was just beautiful. It was all love and sunshine and fruit and vegetables that tasted of something.
Yes. Yes.
Please, can anyone tell me where I can buy decent strawberries? Sorry to change the subject.
You can't get them in Waitrose.
It's just... It's horrible. I don't understand what's going on.
I did it for the...
Welcome back to our show, everyone, which is titled Against All Odds, They Made It. So now I have joining me Kenny Mammarella-D'Cruz.
Brilliant. Well done.
Thank you.
That's a lot of
I just got Kenny up there. I should have... Oh, no, it's there. Look, I didn't even see it. Okay, start again. Sorry, guys. Due to trauma that she also faced in her childhood. Oh, hang on a minute. I left something in there. Sorry, do that again. I wasn't meant to leave that bit in.
Okay.